Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're doing well. So, today I'm gonna talk about the books I read in August, and I'm actually filming this on the 1st of September. So, I'm not late. I know, who is she? If you're new to my channel, this literally never happens. All my wrap ups are late as hell, and to be honest, this one is probably gonna be uploaded late as well because even though I'm filming it today, so I'm filming it early. I'm not gonna have time to edit it anytime soon, so yeah. But anyway, it's still progress. So yeah, right, let's get let's get to the books. So the first book that I want to talk about is a Czech classic called Saturnin. It starts when our main character gets a butler, and it sort of follows their journey together, because this butler Saturnin is very peculiar, and so he needs some time getting used to, basically, and he manages to turn his master's previously ordinary life into quite the roller coaster. So this book doesn't really have a thrilling plot or anything. The main thing is humor, and most importantly, the humor arises in communication between the characters. So we have Saturnin the butler, then the narrator, whose name we actually don't know, and then there are a few other characters. And the thing is, they're all typicized. So every character has their thing, and they're very predictable. You know what you're gonna get, you know what to expect. So when these characters get into certain situations and they're dealing with them together, you know it's gonna be hilarious because these characters are so different, and yeah, there are clashes between them, not like serious clashes. It's a very chill and positive book. There's nothing really traumatizing or anything like that. But yeah, so it focuses on humor and the characters. And yes, there is a plot, but it's not the most important thing, at least not in my opinion. As for the characters, apart from Saturnin and the narrator, there is also Dr. Vlach, whose thing is that he delivers these long moralizing lectures. So when something happens, he starts talking, he starts lecturing, and you basically know it's gonna take a while for him to stop. Another character that can't seem to shut up is Aunt Catherine, and her thing is sayings. In Czech, we have so many sayings in our language, and some of them are cool and useful, and some of them are just weird and cringy, and she uses all of them. She uses the whole palette of them. She's yeah, it's her thing. So whenever something happens, she just starts spitting out these sayings, and it sounds weird when I say it like this, but in some situations it's actually funny. But yeah, Aunt Catherine is definitely the annoying character of this book. Then we also have the grandpa of the narrator and Miss Barbara, who is the main sort of love interest. This book is not a romance, but there is a romance line, and it is between the narrator and Miss Barbara, and I actually really like that. It was so cute. Mind you, this book was written in the 30s, or I'm not sure when it was written, but it was published in the 30s or 40s, and so obviously the romance is not explicit by any means. Like, yeah, it's so cute. It's so cute. But yeah, it's not the most important thing in the book, but I liked it. So overall, what did I think of this book? Well, it's not my first time reading it. I read it for school before, and honestly, this time I think I enjoyed it the most because, I mean, I I read it over the course of maybe even 3 months, and this is a tiny book, so it was I read a few chapters every week, just enjoyed myself. So it was fun. However, you do have to sort of take in account that it was written in the 30s and 40s. So, yeah, for example, the representation of women is not amazing. It's not that bad. There are other Czech books that are much younger and have much worse representation and just treatment of women. So here it's not bad, it's just slightly stereotypical. So yeah, but I don't really mind that because, yeah, it just reflects the time when it was written, so I don't mind. And this book has actually been translated, which is great, so I can recommend it to you guys, and I definitely do recommend it. If you want to try a Czech book, I think this one is perfect because it's short. Well, it's not that short, but the chapters are short, so it's easy to read. It also doesn't have any like heavy topics. It's such a chill read, and yeah, I recommend. Definitely recommend. So the next book I read is also Czech. It's called Moři, but the problem is it has not been translated. At least I don't think so. And so even though I really loved this book, and I would definitely recommend it if you speak Czech, I'm not gonna talk about it here because I just feel like it's pointless to talk about a book that most people who are gonna watch this video can't even read. But if it ever gets translated, I'm definitely gonna include it in a video and talk about it more because it was great. So the next book I want to talk about is The Empress of Salt and Fortune by Nevo. This is a short novella inspired by Imperial China, in which the main character meets a mysterious old woman and she tells them the story of the Empress. And what I found the most beautiful about this book is that every chapter starts with a description of an object. And it is an object that the main character finds in this woman's house, and the story sort of unfolds from there. So the main character comes to the old woman and they say, hey, what's this? And how did you get it? And then the woman starts talking about the object and how it ties to the Empress and the Empress's story. And I just really like that. Also, I like that it's not chronological because, of course, you could tell the Empress's story chronologically, but since it unfolds from the object, it just, I don't know, it was much more interesting and I really enjoyed it. However, even though I did enjoy this book, it didn't really have a lasting impact on me, so I would recommend it, but it wasn't really life-changing for me or anything, to be completely honest with you. Also, I want to know that I listened to it as an audiobook and I really like the narrator, so yeah. So the next book I want to talk about is the best read of the whole month. Maybe one of the best reads of the whole year. Honestly, it was great. It was an easy 5-star, and that was The 30 Names of Night by Zain Jokadar. Oh my gosh. Okay, before I start professing my love for this book, I'm gonna quickly tell you what's it about. So this book follows two main characters in two different timelines. Nadir in present day and Layla in the 20s, 30s and 40s. So Nadir is a closeted trans boy of Syrian descent who lives in New York City, and he's a talented painter and he loves birds because his mother was an ornithologist. However, his life turned upside down after his mother's sudden death, and he's sort of lost, trying to find himself, trying to get out of the closet, and just, yeah, he's not doing great. Then there's Layla, who came from Syria to New York City with her parents, and she became a very well-known artist in certain circles. So if you were an ornithologist or a bird lover, you definitely knew Layla Z. However, one day she mysteriously disappeared and no one has heard from her ever since. Their lives are connected by the love for birds and art and painting, but when Nadir discovers Layla's old diary, he starts to wonder if maybe their lives aren't connected with a much stronger bond than that. So yeah, that's my little synopsis. It's difficult to sum up what this book is about because it's about much more than what I just said, and it's amazing. I don't even know where to start. It's just, I loved it. I loved the characters. They were so well done. They just had so much to them. And not just Nadir and Layla, but also Nadir's grandma, Nadir's sister, also his best friend, and I just loved it. And yeah, also Layla's lover was such an interesting character. And yeah, I loved the characters. Also, I really enjoyed the writing. I really loved it. It was so beautiful. And I listened to this as an audiobook, and I definitely need to get a physical copy because I need to annotate the hell out of it. Honestly, it was just beautiful. Yeah, also it got me really emotional, but unfortunately for me, I was finishing it on a train, and so I really tried my best not to cry. But yeah, it's definitely emotional, and the ending was so beautiful. And okay, I'm gonna cry just thinking about it. It was so just emotional. That's the only word I can think of that describes it accurately. What Well, I don't want to say disappointed me, but when I read the synopsis, I thought there would be more like a fantastical element to it, or maybe some like mystery element or something, because it made it look like Nadir's mom's death and Layla's disappearance were like connected. And in my head, I sort of thought like there would be like a great villain who killed his mom and like Nadir's mom, and who also had something to do with Layla's disappearance, which is not okay. This is kind of spoilery-ish, but like let's just say that things happened differently. So that was interesting, but I don't really mind because actually I really liked it the way it was. I was just really surprised because I was still waiting for, like, whenever there was a character that seemed shady, I was like, that's gonna be the villain, and then it wasn't. So it was kind of interesting. But I loved it. I know I said that before, but I really really did. So yeah, I definitely recommend this book. I think it's amazing. I'm definitely gonna reread it. Actually, me and my friend already talked about rereading it together, so I'm really excited about that. I might even do a reading vlog because, like I said, I want to annotate the shit out of it, and might be interesting for you guys to see. I don't know. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this book. If you like birds, then absolutely. But even if you don't like birds, or if you don't really know anything about birds, you don't need to. You don't need to love birds or understand birds to love this book. When I was getting into it, like in the first few chapters, I got a bit worried that if I don't know anything about birds, I'm gonna get bored or it's not gonna be as interesting for me. It was totally fine. It was perfect just the way it is. So yeah. Okay, I could ramble on about the 30 Names of Night forever, but I don't have much time today. So I'm gonna try to get to the next book. I say try because I want to keep going about the 30 Names of Night, but I don't even have anything like worthy to say anymore. So yeah, let's get to the next book, which is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. This book is about it's quite short, and it's about a cafe where you can time travel. However, there are rules to the time traveling. The first important rule is that you can only meet a person who visited the cafe, and the second is that you can only stay in the past until the coffee gets cold, and then you have to get back. There are other rules, but these are the two most important ones. And in the book, there are 5 stories of people who did use this time traveling feature of this cafe. What I loved is that all those stories are connected, so it's not a short story collection. It's 5 stories that are all connected, characters reappear, and I love that because even though I enjoy short story collections, in this case I just think it's so much better that it's a story as a whole and all those stories are a part of it and are connected. And yeah, so I enjoyed this book. It wasn't the best book I've ever read, but it was definitely interesting, and honestly it was such a page turner. Like, the writing style wasn't my favorite cup of coffee. That was bad. Anyway, it wasn't not my thing, the writing style, but I got to say that it was a page turner. It was so easy to read, like I literally went through it so quickly. So if you need to get out of a reading slump, I would definitely recommend this. And overall, I think it's a good book. I maybe had, like, maybe my expectations were a bit high because I've seen a lot of people give it 5 stars. For example, Jack Edwards gave it 5 stars. And so maybe my expectations were a little high, but that's okay. That happens. I still think it was a great book, and oh my gosh, I cried like a baby at the ending. Like, at the end, Oh my god, I sobbed. Like, I ugly cried. I sobbed. It was so emotional. It wasn't even sad, it was just emotional. Like, and I knew, like, when I was reading the last few pages, like, I knew I'm gonna cry. Like, I even told my mom, like, hey, if you see me sobbing, don't worry, I'm just reading a book. But still, even though I knew I'm gonna cry, I still wasn't ready for how much. Like, I literally got a headache afterwards. So yeah, maybe don't read it on public transport, or at least not the end, because it is emotional. At least it was for me. I know that people cry at different things in books, so maybe it won't move you, but it definitely moved me. And like I said, it's a pretty good book, so I would recommend. Now, the last two books I want to talk about are actually graphic novels, and it's Heartstopper 1 and 2, so Volume 1 and Volume 2 by Alice Oseman. I can't believe I only read it now. I know this series has been out for a while, but I don't know, I just didn't get to it. And actually, out of all of Alice Oseman's books, I only read Solitaire, but I read it such a long time ago that I honestly don't remember anything. But after reading Heartstopper, I definitely need to read that. Okay, so I'm gonna first of all quickly talk about Volume 1 and Volume 2 and then about the whole thing together, because I kind of binged them, so it's difficult for me to like talk about them individually. But what I want to say is that I definitely liked Volume 2 better. Volume 1 was okay, like it was nice, I gave it 3 stars, it was pleasant, it was enjoyable, like it was cute, yeah, good, everything you want in a YA romance thing. However, Volume 2 again made me cry. That's kind of a recurring theme with the books in this video. But it was so sweet, it was so cute, and like my heart, like I was reading it and I was literally giggling and like oh my gosh, I felt like I'm 16 again. It was so cute. It was so cute, and I loved so many things about it. I loved that they were so supportive of each other. I Okay, I just realized I haven't told you what this comic is about. Sorry, I'm gonna do that now. But I don't know, I feel like I just kind of assumed everybody knows it, but in case you don't, it's fine. So it follows two teenagers falling in love, and just, yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna say about it, because I don't know, I don't feel like anything else needs to be said. And so yeah, back to what I loved about it. I loved how they were supportive of each other, especially Charlie was so supportive of Nick not being able to come out, or not being able, but not being ready to come out. And that's so sweet, because in a lot of TV shows, a lot of queer people have this attitude of like, I'm not gonna go out with someone who's not out of the closet because it only like complicates things, and I can understand that. At the same time, ouch. So I just loved how they were together, and yeah, I don't know what else to say. I loved it. I would definitely recommend. And yeah, if you need something to warm your heart that you're gonna be able to read really quickly, this is it, because it's a graphic novel, and also even for a graphic novel it's really short in terms of like there's not that much text, I feel like. So yeah, I loved it. I would definitely recommend. So that's all the books I wanted to talk about. I'm sorry if today's video was a bit rushed, but I don't have much time to record it. Time management really didn't work out today, so yeah, I'm sorry about that. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you read any of these books, and if you want to, let me know what you read in August, how you liked it. You know, if you have any recommendations, I'm always happy to receive recommendations. Even though my TBR is really long, it's fine. I have my whole life to read those books, so it's fine. Anyway, I hope you had a good day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!